Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Super Saiyan Goku stage of the Supreme Magnificent Battle Movie Edition. In this one we're going to be taking a look at how you can complete the 10 turn challenge. Now I did actually complete the 10 turn challenge with my team that I originally took on the event with. The biggest section that you're going to struggle with is the second section. There's a reason for this. We'll talk about it just now, but basically this is going to be your focal point in terms of difficulty. Now, all in all, in terms of like overall difficulty, the Supreme Magnificent battles are not inherently OP hard. They're difficult, but so far the Blue Zone, at least for movie editions, hasn't been ridiculous. But at the same time, we are awaiting a couple more stages, and they are providing some very interesting gimmicks, and I think that's actually where I've enjoyed them a lot. The stages are very uniquely designed, very different, and this one's no different. Again, repeating the word, but still. This one is very interesting, largely because of a couple factors. The first of these factors, one of the reasons why it's so interesting, is because essentially, inherently, the second phase you are facing like 3 or 4 units at once, which is a very interesting concept, especially in a Blue Zone, and they each individually hit pretty hard. They also have individual effects. So for example, Gohan has increased attack and defense as long as Piccolo is up on the field. Vegeta has increased attack and defense as long as the Trunks is on the field. And then obviously Piccolo regens his health. So it's pretty interesting, to be honest with you, to see so many different gimmicks in the second phase, and this is where a lot of your like focal points are going to be. And there's a big reason for this. So the first reason for this is twofold. Firstly, there's stunning and sealing from the opposition in the second phase. If you are someone that is playing the game and you are relying on a first start tank that is very strong in terms of AoE damage, so for example like Broly, who a lot of players may use, Broly is a very strong unit. He is essentially a great AoE unit, and so using him is very pivotal towards like scoring big AoE damage. But your unit can get stunned or sealed, and what this will do is prevent you from scoring that AoE damage, which makes your life dramatically harder. So that's one of the first issues of the second phase. The other issue is that because there's so many different enemies, a lot of the times you're juggling type balances, type matchups, and then trying to maximize damage. You don't want to really prioritize AoE damage outside of like big time AoE units like Tech Broly, as most of the time AoE damage is just not that up to scratch. So you end up having to focus down targets, but if you don't focus down enough targets, or you don't focus down the right targets, then what tends to happen is you tend to struggle. Because what happens is essentially when you are not focusing the right targets down, you tend to take a very long time to get through the second phase. Because you're splitting your damage so much, Piccolo's recovering health, you're not dealing as much damage as you want to. So it really does become a little bit of a like big time balancing act, which I think is really what causes a lot of the issues for a lot of players, is that balancing act of, okay, I need to juggle my damage, I need to maximize my damage, I need to do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately I can't because I'm struggling with this. So you just end up sitting in a position where realistically you're just not getting the same like good damage out. So the easiest thing I can suggest really is the order of ways you should take out units. For me personally, you should take out Trunks first, then take out Piccolo due to his health regen, then look at taking out Gohan, and then leave Vegeta for last. Gohan stacks defense, so I prefer to take him out after or before Vegeta to try and prevent him from getting too tanky. And then find once you get through the second phase, generally speaking, the third phase is honestly not that bad. Goku does hurt you a lot and can get very, very big, but he's also not impossible to deal with due to the fact that he only fires one super attack, and he's also not inherently super duper tanky. He also doesn't mitigate your team's damage, so he doesn't seal or stun or anything, so you can still get big damage out of your big time units. So the 10-turn challenge is pretty tough. I wouldn't say it's the easiest challenge. I would definitely say it's not the hardest either. I think it's a fine, good balance of just prioritizing the right team and having a good time, and I think you'll end up, in a pretty good position. So for this purpose, I obviously decided to focus on having a movie bosses / planetary destruction team. A very, very, very good team that overall does a lot of great damage, has AoE damage, has fantastic tankiness, and also obviously has a decent amount of support. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this team ran incredibly smoothly, and everything was working pretty well. I will say, some of the standout performers for me were definitely obviously the Broly LRs, but it's really cool to run a team like this and be able to use a unit like Kid Buu, who I think is really fun to use, and a really interesting, well-designed support. So it's really cool to be able to kind of run him. It was cool to be able to run like the type advantage Vegeta, who is obviously a 50 or 60% now in type support. Then we also have like just a really fun kind of different team to use, and I think that was really interesting kind of team to just have a lot of fun with, especially incorporating some of these I don't want to say far out units like they're not good, but I mean more like it's not just a whole team of Broly's. I think that's really, really fun to try and do, and it's really, really cool to put together. Obviously, look, I think you can do this with a lot of teams. I think Kamehameha is a great team to do this with. I think the Earthbred Fighters is fine. I think Goku's family is fine. USS obviously is great. Any team that's, you're looking at the big high damage teams. So Kamehameha, USS, superheroes. I do think like Martian Power and some of those teams that are more defensively orientated might struggle. Like Martian Power is great, but it's got a lot of its damage coming from like physical Buuhan. Same with Majin Buu Saga. Majin Buu Saga is great from like a longer, stronger type of thing. You don't really get like massive damage output from them realistically outside of now the Strength Gohan, but I guess Strength Gohan helps them a lot with that. So realistically, it's not actually a huge train smash for them. I think it's actually more than fine now. Goku also does some pretty good damage, so you could obviously run that. The movie heroes, movie bosses, planetary destruction, uncontrollable power, all of these teams are going to be very, very strong, very good teams. And I think, ultimately you're going to end up having a good time trying to run some of these bad boys over trying to, incorporate or like run other teams and things like that. Like I think, you want to kind of orientate yourself to the bigger teams just because of the sheer like damage output that they can do. But like I said, the second phase definitely takes the longest. But when you've got like a strong team like this, it's really not that big an issue. Broly also is just a ridiculous damage dealer, so it does make it pretty easy to get through him. And his AoE attacks do help a lot, especially the interrupts, because the AoE interrupt is very, very helpful for kind of mitigating the opposition's actions. But so now you go into the third phase. We're very fortunate because we have the Tech Broly, and Tech Broly is just going to incinerate Goku, which is just kind of his thing. So Tech Broly is going to really just kind of do a big number on Goku, really just essentially incinerate him, and that's kind of his design, right? That's his whole thing. So it's a very, very big sort of like strong showing from him, And he kind of obviously brings to the table exactly what we're looking for. Yeah, that high volume, high output damage. That's just going to have a really good time. We also get great luck with the Kid Buu being in the 3rd slot, taking no damage, getting everything kind of sorted. And then like at this point now, we're pretty much going to incinerate Goku with Tech Broly, which is always a lot of fun to see how crazy this unit gets, especially alongside units like this in Broly. I think things are very cool to see, and a very, very strong, just very cool pairing of units. So that was a really good time, really fun team build, really fun little challenge. I do think it's possible by quite a few teams, so just give it your best shot. But if you have Tech Broly, things tend to be a lot easier. I think both Tech Brolys right now are just absolute beasts, and are just causing so much fun to happen on this Broly team. And then when you have Int Broly, it's like the perfect foil. You've just got all these good units that can kind of float and support and just do a lot. I think it's really, really good. So that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and let me know if you need any more help, and I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.